I want to talk to you now about the Civil War beginning inside MAGA Trump land. It's a real fight between the two parts of the Republican Party. It's not a fight about principle. It's not a fight about fundamental issues. It's about who controls the decisions that Mr. Trump and his government are going to be making. It's a matter of power. Let's begin with the money, because following the money is usually a pretty good way to understand American politics. It's all about the money. The Republican Party depends on the money of a very small number of very wealthy individuals, a very small number of big corporations, and relatively few very rich people. They provide the hundreds of millions, even now into the billions of dollars, funding the Republican Party. What does the party do with that money? Well, it does the obvious. The people who are billionaires and can give money, like Elon Musk, are few. They don't have many votes. They have a lot of money, but they don't have a lot of votes. Neither do the corporations. They have even more money and have very few votes. And the same is true of very rich individuals. So they give the party money and they tell the party, use the money we give you to go out there and get the votes we need to put you into power so you can do for us, your funders, what we want you to do. And that's what the Republicans do. They take those millions, those billions, and they flood the airways with advertisements. They shake up the internet. They put ads everywhere. They hire people from every corner that they can get a hold of to go out and get votes from their parishes, get votes from their employees if they can get them to do it. They use the money, in short, to buy millions of people's votes. Sure, they promise those people something, just like they promise the big donors the big money. They promise the little people little things that they can do. A law that suggests white people are maybe better than the rest of us. Or maybe that there won't be abortions, or maybe this or that. Whatever they think those in the masses want to hear, they'll pay the money to get the message to them. Vote Republican, and you'll be able to have that gun, or 10 more like it, etc. You know all of this. You don't need me for that. And that's how the system works. And while I'm focused now on the Republican Party and the Civil War going on, the same kind of deal is the Democratic Party. They too have their big donors, their billionaires, the few corporations that support them, and they take that money and they go out and buy the massive votes they need. Only they buy them from union members, from minorities, from working people, the kind who support the Democratic Party. But it's a few donors buying a lot of votes on both sides. In that ways, these parties are similar. But now back to the Republicans. What's the Civil War about? Well, they want different things. The people at the top like immigration. They always have. They're the employer class. They like immigrants because you can pay them less for the same work. They like immigrants because if they don't do what you want, you terrorize them by threatening to inform the authorities, and they might lose their job or lose their citizenship or both. They are very pliant workers. If you bring them in on those HB1 visas and they don't keep the job or you fire them, they better go get that visa in a hurry or else they have to get out of the country. So they're not going to misbehave, are they? not like a worker who is native born, doesn't have to worry about those issues. So the employers like immigration, but the mass of people have been persuaded over recent years to blame the deepening problems of American capitalism on immigrants. That's wrong. That makes no sense at all. It's what we used to call scapegoating. You can't do something about a problem, so you find someone to blame, focus everybody's upset on that scapegoat, do nothing about the problem, but relieve the pressure by having people demonize the scapegoat. It's far too familiar a part of American history and has been for many, many decades. So the Civil War pits those at the top who want immigration, who are going to demand it. They want the freedom to employ the immigrant. But the mass of people were led to believe by Mr. Trump and his associates that not only would they blame immigrants, but to keep the masses happy, or to be honest, to keep the masses voting Republican, you got to do something. And so there was all that talk about deporting millions of immigrants. Well, here's the problem. The rich people who fund the Republican Party want immigrants, and the mass of people who provide the votes don't. At least the majorities of both do and don't. So what's the Republican Party going to do? It's torn apart inside. The funders don't want the party to do what the mass of voters want, and vice versa. So they both turned to Mr. Trump. Both sides turned to the people they put in power, one with the money, the other with the votes. And Mr. Trump, like most politicians caught in that kind of civil war, went with the money, because that's what they do most of the time. Follow the money, you figure out what's going on. I wish I could say something like this happens in the Republican Party, but not the Democrat. I can't say it, and I won't. They too are a party of big donors who give the party the money to buy the mass of people who vote Democratic. Can they end up on opposite sides and have a civil war? They can, they have, they do, and they most likely will. But right now, we have an exploding civil war with money making the difference, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Commitment to principle, right out the window when the money comes in to call the shots. There's a reason we keep thinking of that very clever remark that I don't know who was the first to make. We here in America have the best government money can buy.
偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。保湿做得好，肌肤自然烹润。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感，而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美一点。美吧。